This is how first part we have to write. Or lobby, you can say that. Even if you want to write Jews lobby, if you can see this. Jews lobby in US. Informal pressure groups will come in the category those who are not formally, let's say, established as pressure group. Yes, government should rather there should be a more informed evidence-based approach instead of reactionary approach. So again, some questions will demand customized approach, isn't it? Customized in the sense that means question is specific. Let's say pressure group politics is sometimes seen as an informal phase of politics. With regards to the above, assess the structure and functioning of pressure groups in India. The structure means what you will write in place of a structure. Yes.
So we can mention the 4 types of groups and then.
Yes. So the structure is about types. The different types and functions, what they perform. So we have talked already role and functions. The role and functions will talk. But this comes only when you have discussion on pressure groups, how they are face of politics, how pressure groups work as face of politics. What you will write?
In a democracy, people represents two types of groups.
Yes.
Political parties and pressure groups.
Yes.
Political party fails to fulfill the aspirations of pressure groups.
No, but how pressure groups many a time become face of politics? Informal politics.
Pressure groups of today can be political parties of tomorrow.
No, but it is not still directly linked.
By appeasing the now protests, they take up the aspirations of people to the main agenda of like influencing the public government policy.
Informal phase of politics means informal means not formal. Formal will be when political parties, many a time pressure groups. The pressure groups may represent aspirations or views of some political parties, or they may propagate those political parties' agendas.
What happens in
This ideology, agenda, its support. Many a time political parties may not directly come and support, but political parties may support from behind. Or pressure groups can support from, political parties may support from behind. This. And pressure groups can also support, let's say. Pressure groups can also support from behind. Political parties can also support from behind. The pressure groups getting supported by political parties. Even Sanjuk Kisan Morcha itself you can take. So you know that behind that some political parties are all non-BJP political parties. Right. It is not only protest, but it is also in a way articulation of public opinion against ruling party. It is helping in articulation of public opinion against ruling party. This. Similarly, let's say India against corruption. This. It was, let's say, pressure group, but then it became Aam Aadmi Party. Similarly, let's say, can you give example where political parties are there and pressure groups are supporting from behind? Informal phase. Yes, RSS best example. Behind BJP politics, It is the RSS. This RSS example can be given. कोई problem नहीं है. RSS example is also referred in literature if you read related to pressure groups. This even let's say कि to balance it you have Rahul Gandhi, right? This and Bharat let's say कि न्याय क्या नाम? भारत न्याय यात्रा या भारत न्याय, right? Behind that there are various let's say civil society organizations, civil society pressure groups. They are supporting basically those civil society organizations which believe in liberal democratic aspect, or the civil society which think that democracy is getting threatened. They should support. Lots of civil societies they have been helping that yatra. This that way we can see. So that way let's say that, and many a time let's say pressure groups can propagate those ideas and aspirations which can be made linked to a particular political party. This is how first part we have to write. Or lobby, you can say that, even if you want to write Jews lobby, if you can see this. Jews lobby in US. So this and that Jews lobby you can say in US, and it influenced US government policy. This many a time let's say this, so it is informal phase of politics. The politics of US will be also decided by the strong lobbies, or those lobbies which are very strong. I mean, they may not directly participate in politics, but they may decide politics. This, so that way you should write on this question.
In case of SKM, you said articulation and formulation of
Public opinion.
against the ruling party.
Against kiss, in which case?
SKM. संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा.
Yes, against ruling government. Although it is in, let's say, it should be dealt after dealing all those self-help groups and non-profit institutions. That time we will try to talk this question. Then how do pressure groups influence Indian political process? Already you know that. Do you agree with the view informal pressure groups have emerged as powerful than formal pressure groups? This informal pressure groups. Which are informal pressure groups? So informal pressure groups will come in the category those who are not formally, let's say, established as pressure group. Right. Rather, let's say that they are coming spontaneously first. They may be not related to pressure groups. They may be other groups, like say civil society organization. This are, let's say, interest groups, like including RSS you can consider. This. So RSS is not at first place pressure group. It is an interest groups. It is an interest group which tries to protect the interest of Indian society. Like it aims at protecting culture of Indian culture. This. So this way. But it is, let's say, how it has become influential. Same, let's say, you can consider even Sanjuk Kisan Morcha is not a formal organization. It has spontaneously come. Means there is more and more spontaneity. You can say that students' protest can be, social media protest can be, social media reaction can be. The particular aspect, we can consider any protest happen, or any kind of, let's say, that gathering you can consider, or we can say any other organization which is, let's say, trying to influence policy of the government. So informal nature means here it is means not a pressure group which had been formally established. This, or not only this, there can be other organizations, other persons, let's say think tank, other groups. You can consider, let's say, demonetization. The demonetization, who has influenced demonetization? This decision related to demonetization. So it is said that there is basically Ramdev Baba and other, we can find this. So how demonetization has been influenced? The many a time there can be any group which is not specialized in policy research, because means in our country largely you will find that policy is getting more and more influenced by less and less organized groups rather than more and more by spontaneity groups, those who just emerge due to some developments and they influence policy of the government. The best example is called India Against Corruption, which influenced Lokpal. This, and then thereafter it disappears. So that way you can say, but you should say that, do you agree with this view? This have emerged as powerful than. Saying ki powerful than formal group will not be. It will be going a bit too far. Let's say it is more transitory development. In fact, formal groups have their own role. And formal groups, they do influence policy of the government. And their influence is more continuous, you can say that. It is continuous and it is more, let's say that, profound. It is more informative. It is more evidence based rather than reactionary. Yes. Like we can give example, when Oxfam publishes its report, it does have its effect. When Human Development Index is published, it does have effect. Ease of doing business index, it does have effect. World Economic Forum papers, when they are released, it does have, they do have their own effects. So you can give some examples of the reports. Largely reports are published by research pressure groups. This you can say that. Pressure groups, this especially publishing reports, etc. you can consider. So this way we can talk. They do also have influence. However, because of social media, since reach of the such groups have increased, because of that reach factor, we find that the governments have become more reactionary to such developments. So you have to balance both aspects.
So then at the end we have to say that government should not follow them.
Yes, government should, rather there should be a more informed evidence-based approach instead of reactionary approach. Because reactionary influence may result into a decision which may lack its own soundness and relevance in long run. This. The methods, I think now you can have methods, same methods. Largely there will be two types of methods now. But farmers, so the more means for farmers, method will be more of protests. Protests, dharna, strike, because they use that kind, because their grievances are not redressed. So generally they resort to that. Then we can talk about, let's say, demonstration and let's say advocacy, this research, report, dialogue, negotiation, plus other things you can write. Right. How effective these methods are? So we have told that farmers, at times it affects, like say Rajiv Gandhi time, Tikat, Mahendra Singh Tikat, he came to Delhi. When he came to Delhi, so Rajiv Gandhi met Mahendra Singh Tikat. We should know that. He gave time to him and his grievances were taken into consideration by the government. This. But this time, Sanjukt Morcha, first they were ignored, right, linked to Khalistani. Then finally, government decided to talk. Still, Prime Minister did not speak to them directly. This, anyhow. So, protest happens and it appears it is effective, but in actual decision, it is found that it is not effective. Because it does not bring any fundamental change in the decision. Like say the government has not accepted the demands of the farmers, although it has discontinued the bills. It has ducked those bills, but it has not accepted the demands. Still, that's why farmers are protesting. Right. Even if one year they protested, right? They protested for 1 year. Still, the demands have not been accepted, although the bills were discontinued. That way, we can say it is more reactionary rather than more, let's say, proactive and constructive. Then pressure groups play a vital role in influence of public policy making. It is just explained how the business association contribute. That already we have dictated this. So that way you can write.